The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually look at the negative spaces, because I think it's easier for me to look at those negative spaces rather than the bones themselves. So let me actually kind of carve this and make it a little bit better shape. Okay, now I'm going to look at that and just look at the negative spaces. So there's a little negative space here, like that. There's another one here, like that. There's another one here, like that, and one more right over there. Now, you could gouge that out with whatever tool you might happen to have, or you could push it in. But as you can see, I'm basically pulling out those negative spaces, just like that. And if I have to, I could actually push them in as well. Hope you can see that, because it's actually a lot easier than people think. I'm just pushing those in. 1, 2, 3, 4. God, always make sure you count toes. 5. Okay, so those are the metatarsals. Now I'm ready for each little segment. Now I'm going to do this quickly because you'll get the idea once I start. But you see how like all of a sudden you have toe bones. They're not great yet, but when you get your hands on them, they will be great. Damn it, because I'm not grading myself, I'm grading you guys. So I just need to show you how to make great little feet, and you guys will finish it off. Then you do each segment, and I don't have to do each one, but you'll get the idea. Oops, got like a split toe there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there, like that. And each one of these will be segmented into 3 little segments. Now the other thing that I like having is a rounded stick. Anything that I sharpened like this, because what I could do is I could roll this like this and make each little toe like this, right in the middle, like that. So all of a sudden, it starts looking pretty finished pretty quickly, like that. You see that? And you could fine tune it, make it much better than what I did there, but basically that's the beginning of a pretty good foot, damn it. That's all I can tell you. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that the arch is even better. I'm gonna push up the arch and make it better. I'm just gonna go from underneath. And now you can see that there's a pretty good little arch there, and that's not a bad foot. It's not a great foot, but it's not bad. And you guys could take it from there. And that's how you do a foot without it being too problematic. Then what you do is you make the beginnings of, now I don't have to do this whole bone, but this is the tibia. So the tibia is done one piece at a time. I do the top first on the left side. Watch. I'm going to put the tuberosity. See that, Brenda, you guys? Right there. It's got a double little socket. Actually, I think I have a better one here. Socket, like that, like that, like that. And then you push it up, and it fits right in, like that. Then you finish the rest of the bone, of course. I'm going to do it really quickly because you'll get the idea. This is almost like doing the femur. So there aren't any tricks to it. The only thing is that the front of the shin has the edge. So you have an edge on the front. But I'm going to show you that once, because remember, you measured that already so that you knew what size to make that fibula. So let's say you have a really beautiful tibia now. Got it? So you have that. You have this boiled. And then this is going to be stuck on the back corner, and it comes forward like this. This one's a little longer for him, too long for him. He would have to make one that's shorter. And it goes from the back corner to the middle, like that. And that would be his left leg. Then you make a patella pop. I just put this in boiling water. I could drop it or just hold it, doesn't matter. Make a patella pop, cut the little wire. And on the left side only, you have a floating patella like that. And it looks really wonderful. So later on, when you bake the whole thing, it'll get baked in. But that's what's going to end up looking like. I don't want it touching any of the bones. It floats like that. On this side, of course, you do it differently. Now I'm going to do the actual foot. Okay, this is the one that takes just a little bit more concentration because it's going to be a sculptured foot. And I'm going to paint it as well, so it looks like it's alive. Okay, let me see how long it'll take me. All right, so here we go. Start with the shoe again. Remember this little gem? So it's a shoe. There's a shoe. Then there's a tuberosity. See the tuberosity on the side over here? Okay. Then you have the toes, big to small. You have the arch of the foot. Okay, so you have an arch. See the arch, 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 arch. You have the tarsal bones, then metatarsals, then the toes themselves. And the toes are going to be over here somewhere. Like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. Okay, so you basically have the beginnings of toes. What I did is I created like a mound, almost like this. So I pushed down behind the toes, I pushed down at the tips of the toes, leaving just like a little, almost like a ramp. Okay, that might help. Then there's a tuberosity. Do you see the tuberosity? Already it's starting to look kind of like a foot. Okay, without really having to do too much. Okay, so there's a tendon that goes to your big toe. You can see that in any of my drawings. Let me just, I'll rotate this around. What I'm doing is I'm actually kind of like doing this along the route of the big toe. And let me show you what I did, because that is the division between the right side of the foot and the left side. It's not basically like in the middle. It's not at all. It's towards the big toe. There's a facet that drops down, and then there's the top of the foot. There's like a little funny thing going on here, so I'm going to change that because I don't like it. And then this is where the little toe is going to end, right there. Okay, now the next thing I need to do, of course, is count toes and make sure that I take this. Let me actually do something. I'm going to lift up those toes just a little bit, kind of like this. You can already see kind of what's happening with the big toe and the other toes. It's been a long week. Let me just take a breather. Sometimes I forget to breathe. I'm just counting toes. I'm basically like, if you have a foot in front of you, it'd be like this. Taking this, oops, and separating the toes. Let me see something. This isn't fancy. It's kind of silly, but there are the toes. You see what I'm doing? Just counting them. Where am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. Okay, at first they look like piano keys. Very simplistic. Achilles tendon back here. But this is the way we start. I'm going to just push up the big toe just a little bit. Hope I could do this for you guys. Now, I take a sharpened stick and I go in between the toes. By the way, I'm always pretty sure I can do it. I have to be, because you guys pay for this, so I want to make sure I give you guys your money's worth. Watch, because I'm just going to go in between each toe. Tricky, but you can do it. See that? Like that. And that gives you kind of like the beginnings of the toes. Okay, so now I'm going to round off the toes a little bit, because right now they're kind of like choppy looking. Just kind of round them off a little bit. Now this next thing I think is pretty helpful. What I'm going to do is just take something flat like this and just push at the ends of the toes. It kind of makes it, it's not the nail, but it's kind of like the section that has the nail. So watch what I'm going to do.